Hello and welcome back to Mark's Garden UK at Rose Cottage near Nantwich in Cheshire, where I'm going to talk to you today about vermiculite and perlite. Now, I've seen this used many times on programmes like Gardener's World, and I've often wondered what it is, so I've gone away and done some research, and I'm going to present the findings of my research back to you today. They say there's nothing new under the sun, so everything I've found out you can find on the internet, but I'm going to put it all together in one small package in this video. So that's vermiculite and that's perlite, and there is a key difference between the two, and I'll explain that in a moment. And there's also a way of getting good value when you want to go away and buy this. So stick around, because I've got a top tip on getting good value when you want to buy this. It's not cheap stuff. I paid £13 for that small bag. It's got 10 litres in. Well, we think it's got 10 litres in. That's a 10 litre bucket. So I'm going to measure it in a moment and just see if it has got 10 litres in that bag. Because if it hasn't, I might be writing to someone on Amazon. Wait and see, we'll soon see. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to either use it as a planting medium or mix it into your compost to improve the compost. And it will improve the compost in several ways, and I'll come back to that in a moment. So that's vermiculite and that's perlite. Now, you might think that they're very similar because they've got similar sounding names, but they're not similar. This is magnesium, aluminium, iron silicate, and it's mined. And then it's heat treated at very high temperatures, and it expands into this product known as vermiculite. Now, vermiculite sounds like the word vermicelli, which comes from the Latin for worms. And when I open this bag, I'm expecting to find this to look like small strands, because apparently when it goes through that heat treatment process, it expands into strands like worms, and that's where the name vermiculite comes from the Latin. Why it also sounds like vermicelli, because vermicelli is that kind of pastry noodle type stuff that looks like worms. Now, the clue is in the question in a way, because it says on here, improves seed germination, maintains moisture and nutrients. So that's the key difference between that one and that one. Perlite, on the other hand, is for healthy root growth and improved aeration and drainage. So whereas that one helps the drainage, this one helps retain moisture. So key difference there. You might use that for succulents or for plants that don't want moist roots or need water retention. Whereas this one you might use for cuttings or for seeds, because it will absorb water and it will absorb nutrients and it will act as a slow release fertilizer. Both of these products have neutral pH. Neither of them will rot or decompose, so they will last a long time in your soil. Perlite is expanded volcanic rock, and I'm expecting when I open this bag to look like those little polystyrene bubbles that you get in packaging. Whereas this, I'm expecting to have a bit more of a kind of a gritty brown coloured texture and colour. So I've been sold 10 litres of vermiculite here. This is a 10 litre bucket. It's got a 10 litre mark on the inside. Let's put it to the test and see. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix this into some compost in this big trug. Now, you can sow directly into vermiculite. They do say you should dampen it down and wear gloves, but they are non-toxic products, but they can produce a little bit of dust. So let's gently empty this bag of vermiculite into this bucket and see if it comes up to the 10 litre mark. And in actual fact, it doesn't. In fact, it's only really coming up to the 6.5 litre mark. So I shall be writing to this product, Garden Prime, which is where I bought this from off Amazon. Anyway, so got 2/3 of a bucket there. I suppose a reason might be that it's settled. I'm going to put this into the trug, and then I'm going to add. Now, you can add 50% soil or compost, or you can add a third. You can add any proportion you like, but of course the more of this you add, the more expensive it will make your compost. I'm doing this at this time of year because I'm about to do some seed sowing. One of my subscribers, Rosie, a lovely lady who I spoke to about an olive, sent me some tomato seeds which she'd found in one of her relatives' shed. So I'm about to sow some tomatoes. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 2 buckets to that 1 bucket of vermiculite and give it a good mix. And there you can see the texture of that. It is kind of gritty and flaky, and apparently that is absorbent, and it will absorb and retain lots of water, and in that water of course there will be nutrients, and it will be slowly released into the compost around the roots of the plant. And because it retains moisture, it can prevent the plants and seedlings from suffering from dampening off, because it stops the water from sitting around the roots. So there we are. Now I'm looking into it here. I can't actually see any of that string-like vermicelli effect, so maybe I've been misled on that front, but it does feel quite gritty. Right, let's get some compost added. There's one. And there's the other. Of course, the benefits of having this big oversized truck is that you can get right in there and mix it in. So there we go, a nicely mixed truck of compost and vermiculite, and I can see how that would break up the texture of the soil, and I can see how it would absorb and retain moisture. And I'm now going to be using this to sow some seeds into. I've got quite a few herb seeds to plant as well, because I'm doing a herb garden, and if you want to see how that turns out, of course subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell. So that's your vermiculite, retaining moisture, retaining nutrients, aerating the soil, breaking up the structure and keeping it light and aerated. So I am now curious to see what this perlite actually looks like. I'm not doing any jobs today which require me to use perlite, but as I've already said, I'm repeating myself, this will aid drainage and break up and aerate the soil, and you might use that for cactuses and succulents and things that don't need dampness around the roots. I'm curious to what it looks like, so I'm going to see what it looks like just by breaking open the bag with my scissors and taking a little bit out, just out of curiosity. Now they do say, and I must stress, it says on the bag here, dampen before use. Add up to 2 litres of water to reduce dust. So that would be quite a lot of water to add to that. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm just going to open up a little corner of this bag and see what it looks like. And yes, it is just like that polystyrene foam you get in packaging. I'll bring the camera a bit closer. And as you can see there, it's a completely different animal, and you can see the dust coming off it. But look, white and flaky, and yeah, I'll waste a little bit of that in there, but that's more for like drainage and healthy roots. Now I did promise you a bit of a value tip on how to get better value when you're buying either of these products. Now I spent £13 on each of these 2 bags, £26 in total. And when I look at it, I'm not sure I've got £13 worth of value in that small bag of vermiculite. But I wanted to buy some just to have a look at it and see what effect it has. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a trial. I'm going to plant some tomato seeds into this mix, which has got vermiculite in it. And I'm also going to plant some tomato seeds into pure compost, and I'll treat them exactly the same. We'll see if we get different results. So stay tuned, subscribe and hit the notifications bell if you want to see how that tomato trial turns out. However, there is a bit of a value tip. You can achieve much better value if you buy a much bigger bag. I'll put the link to some 100-litre bags of vermiculite and perlite in the description box below this video. Those are Amazon links, and if you click on those links and buy any product, I will get commission, full disclosure, and your support is greatly appreciated. And then I can go away and buy some more stuff and do a video about it. Anyway, there we go, a short video on vermiculite and perlite. So in summary, vermiculite for water retention and nutrient retention, perlite to aerate the soil and aid with drainage. Hope that's been useful. If you want to add anything, put it in the comments below, and then anyone else that's watching this video can read your comments and be educated as well. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.